All right, so today is Pokemon Day, and what does that mean for crypto? Are there some potential projects out there that could benefit from this? You will definitely want to stay tuned because we're going to show you one that will. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Tech Path. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor, and that is Tangem. This is a self-custody wallet that is meant for you. It's very easy to use, has a great app, also in unison with the card set. All you have to do is go over to their website, click that little button in the top right, get Tangem, get your 3-card set, and of course, you can start moving your tokens off of exchanges and directly into your own self-custody wallet. Very simple to do, and of course, now with the bull run, it's a great time to start doing that. All right, let's get into a few points here. Pokemon Day has begun. This is a big deal because we're going to showcase a handful of tokens that will most likely benefit from this, but I want to go to this first clip.
The Pokemon Company is developing this game as a 3-party collaboration with Creatures Inc., the creators of the Pokemon trading card game, and DNA, our partners in the development of Pokemon Masters EX.
All right, some key companies there involved. I'll show you what that means here in a second. But I wanted to get a reaction video from IGN, one of the biggest gaming networks out there. They look at where these trends are going. Listen to what they had to say about this.
The Pokemon trading card game community has been pretty unpleased with the current client that we use to play the card game online. They finally, they sunset Pokemon trading card game online and replace it with Pokemon Live. It's just not the same. It feels like actually several steps backwards and is missing tons of features that the old one that was like 20 years old had. We're in turmoil right now, okay? And so the fact that they're making another game, most people who buy Pokemon cards actually are not playing the game, they're collecting.
My hope is that because I remember years ago when I could buy a pack like in real life, and then it would always have the code in it, and I would put that into the online thing, and I would be able to open a pack online as well. And so I would hope for that kind of tie-in in this, so that people who are actively already engaged in the TCG are getting something for it, as opposed to just sort of restarting their collections. Having to start from scratch kind of seems like it sucks. Yeah, I mean, probably not.
So not happy is really what it boils down to. What does this mean for, some of the projects that are out there that maybe are working on similar game structure that fall into the Web3 gaming space? We've got a couple of projects that we've talked about a little bit you want to keep an eye on, but the company they're referencing was this company right here, DNA. As you'll notice here, Playback, NFT service, Pick 5, NFT card game. This is the company that they're working with right now. So there could be some assumption that maybe that we could see something like that coming down the pipe in the future. Further in here, if you go look at some of their milestones, one of the things that's very interesting is back in October, they launched the NFT literacy test. So that means they're already prepping for this. And again, partnerships like, Pokemon could play into this. So definitely one to watch for sure. And one thing, if you go in and look at just some of the tech that Pokemon has been responsible for, the last real innovation, I think most people would remember that, Pokemon Go by Niantic, but that was 2016. So not really a lot of innovation. So is this the opportunity for a Web3 gaming project to come in? If you look at the success of what we saw with Pal World, and if you're in the gaming ecosystem, maybe you're brand new to our channel, this matters because there's opportunities here to invest in some of these projects that could start to pump during this next cycle. One that we've noticed and continue to watch very closely is Affyn. Now, we mentioned this the other day on the show, and of course, here's the 7-day. This thing absolutely went crazy, but I think for good reason. There's a couple of things that they are doing. One thing that you'll notice, and we showed this the other day, is the launch of Buddy Arena. This is kind of their, I won't call it Pokemon, but it has a lot of elements to it. Now remember, the fact that there is no true Pokemon gaming structure out there right now, these kinds of games, that's why Pal World got to, I think it was 25 million viewers in their first month. That's a huge leap in terms of virality around gaming. So it's a great opportunity for sure. Look at the size of this on just Pokemon Unite. I mean, that's 50 million downloads right there. So you can see the appetite is heavy for these. All right, so I want to go to a clip from the Affyn team. This is a very innovative approach that nothing else has really been doing this before. Listen in.
So we've mapped our virtual world to the real world using this tile system. Out of these 9 billion pieces of land, we have 100,000 that are mintable as NFTs. So they're collectibles and they also have utility inside the games. So the challenge was 9 billion lands. Each one of them needs to be unique. So when we opened Singapore for sale, for our Nexus World sale, we sold out actually in less than 2 hours.
This could get viral very quickly with 9 billion individual land plots that are tied into the game ecosystem itself. Another thing that was kind of interesting in our research around Affyn was how they were integrating retail. Watch this clip right here.
You've got land.
The situation was how you can integrate games into retail actions. And this is something that has been very difficult to do, especially for the restaurant industry. So if Affyn has any potential success there, this will get huge very quickly because these restaurant guys are always looking for these kinds of advantages. Here was the CEO of Affyn responding to the video that we did just the other day, looking back at how excited I was on the video about Buddy Arena. Let me kind of zoom in on that for you guys. The game has improved so much and we're about to launch globally in 3 weeks. So this is coming down the track. And we put it on this video. If you guys didn't catch it, it was our 3 tokens to watch. It was one of others that we like, and we do these from time to time, but this is one of the things that I think is interesting. Now, one thing to watch here is the quality. Let me kind of zoom in on this for you guys, kind of showcasing where they are. And this is something that is different than we showed the other day on this, meaning they've really advanced the graphics on this, and I'll let it kind of render a little bit here, but you can kind of see the level of graphics have really improved a lot for this project. So could this be one that takes on one of the big projects that is out there that has been very popular, and that is Pixelmon. Now, Pixelmon, you could also look at some of the graphics right here on Pixelmon. Not as much of a comparison. I'm excited to see this one launch. If Affyn launches and they do a good job with Buddy Arena, this could be a huge bump. And if you look at some of the things, and I'll show you some of the examples of where the price is here in a second, but there's a lot going on with this particular project. All right, so one thing to keep an eye on is when you look at the Affyn project, I'll go back to CoinMarketcap, and I want to showcase something right here, and that is, look at the size of the market cap versus volume. This is one that has a lot of room to run, and if they launch successfully, if this one gets off the ground and really does take off, when you see the demand, you look at the fact that we have not seen a lot of Pokemon innovation, could one of these be a big winner? And that's one to watch. Now, here's the Solana version of their Pokemon. This is Seekers of Dokane. This is on Aurora. This is another project out there. This is on the Epic Game Store. And interesting that they put here mature cash prizes, meaning there's some activity going into blockchain opportunities there. Aurora, not necessarily a huge move, but you can kind of see up a little and then down here recently. I think there's going to be some very interesting tracks for a lot of these projects that fall into this particular category. So one to watch for sure. Heroes of MAVIA just announced their deal. Other games to kind of keep an eye on. Obviously, Heroes of MAVIA is now building on Base. We weren't necessarily sure. We were kind of talking about this the other day. Base was in the wheelhouse, but it was one that kind of surprised us a little bit. But now on Base, question I have will be, how fast do they get listed on Coinbase? That would be the big question right there. And of course, if you look at where MAVIA has been trading, a little bit flat. So not as much of a pump on the news going to Base as I thought they might get. So it's one to watch. You guys, I'd love to hear, some of the projects that you guys think are pumping out there. There's so much happening right now in the gaming ecosystem, and I think some of these projects are definitely ones to watch. All right, if you're not part of the Diamond Circle, get in now. It's free. And it's a great place to get additional content, or you can catch me out there on X, @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.